Alright guys, we're going to learn about adding decimals today. Adding decimals, there's some few rules you got to remember. Okay, one, this is a whole number. This is a whole number, and anytime you have a whole number in a decimal problem, the decimal point is always to the left of the whole, to the right of the whole number. Okay, so if I was going to write this 5 in a decimal, it would be 5.0, right? So 5.0 is 5, and if I had 7, right? Same concept. 7 would be 7.0, right? If you're working in problems that include two numbers after the decimal point, then you would have to put 2 zeros out there. But we'll get into all that as we learn how to add these problems. First, let's learn how to build this problem, all right? So, thing to remember is when we're adding these types of things, anytime you do decimals, the decimal points always have to be lined up. And when you're doing decimal addition, you should always write the zeros if it makes sense to do so. Alright? It makes adding decimals easier. So let's build this problem. So when we're building the problem, you got to think that anything after a decimal point, like this 0.2 here, is only a fraction of a whole number. Alright? So it is a fraction of this 5 right here. Just keep that in mind. Even if you don't completely understand it right now, it will make sense in a little while. So 5 here in this is the biggest number. So when we're building our problem and we have 2 digits after the decimal place, we can tell there and there. So when we write this out, we're going to write 5.00. Okay? And then we are going to write the next one above it, which is the 0.18 here. We're going to write our 0.18 as we write out our zeros, right? And then for our 0.02 here, we're going to write that leading zero for it to make sense to be as many digits as the rest of the problem. We're going to write 0.02. So we lined up all our decimal points, right? We lined them up. That's the point here. Making sure that those are lined up will make decimal addition really easy. So let's go ahead and do our addition. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 plus 0, well, that's 0, or that's 10, right? 10 plus 0 is 10. We'll write our 0. We'll carry our 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. So we got a 2. Now we're going to drop our decimal point. Now 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. So this, ladies and gents, is our answer to this decimal problem. 5 plus 0.02 plus 0.18 is 5.20. All right, let's do a couple more. So this is an interesting problem. You got 0.1 and 0.04. Now the thing to remember when you're building the problem is to always line up your decimal points. And when you're writing your problem, if you don't completely understand yet which one's the bigger number, it's okay. Just write the problem as you think it should be written, because you're going to be adding the same numbers regardless. So that whole rule of putting the biggest number on the bottom, that's just something I do, okay, to make it easier for me. But when you add the numbers together, they're going to be right as long as you line up the decimal points, okay? So let's go ahead with, well, we'll write 0.04, right? And we'll write 0.1. But to make this problem easier, we'll fill in that extra space, all right? Because 0.1 and 0.10 are the same thing, all right? It just makes it easier to add this way. 0.4 is 4, or excuse me, 0 plus 4 is 4. 1 plus 0 is 1. Drop your decimal point. 0 plus 0 is 0. So your answer to this problem, 0.1 plus 0.04 is 0.14. All right? It would be the same, like, let's say in money, if you were adding 10 cents plus 4 cents, it would be 14 cents, right? You could think of it that way, but in decimals, the main rule of thumb, line up the decimal points, fill in zeros, and it'll be right when you're done. Next problem. Well, now this is just interesting. So you have a whole number, 5, plus a 0.5, plus a 0.05, right? So when we're building this problem, it's actually really easy. We'll write it out here. And we know that the most numbers that we have after the decimal point is 0.5, right? So if we put 5.00 and up here we write the next number, which is going to be 0.5, and we'll add a 0 so it'll make sense. And then up here we write 0.05, which is our last number here. That's how we build this problem. Now these lines might get in my way, so I'm gonna, alright. Okay, so let's do our addition. Don't forget, now we've lined up our decimal points. That's how we build this problem. Those should always be in line. 5 plus 0 is 5, plus 0 more is 5. 0 plus 5 is 5, plus 0 more is 5. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. So no kidding, the answer to 5 plus 0.5 plus 0.05 is 5.55. Now I hope you've learned something in this lesson. This is basic decimals and how to build an addition problem with decimals. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you next time.